So nice to have the whole that anime show on today
Woo!
from different locations.
Sorry. Terry, that was a bad impression of you.
So did you hear that Chris Abbott is afraid of you, Terry?
Yeah, somebody messaged me on Facebook and asked what I did to Chris Abbott. And I really don't, so I text Zach, of course. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Because, you know, a couple of times I see Abbott, we're always on good terms, or I'm just that terrifying that he makes me think that.
Well, you said you were like
Apparently
a ninja.
I'm too terrifying to prank.
I think you said you were like a ninja or something, and I don't know. Most of what he says doesn't make sense.
Wait, let me get this straight. So, Terry, you terrify Chris Savage?
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
That's what I was
Come on, you can't spell terrifying without Terry.
Wow, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Chris Savage did recount some of his
This was my 2-minute I've memorized, okay?
Hey, if you can terrify someone of Chris Savage's stature, that's clearly a sign that you have arrived.
I know. I really don't know what I did. I mean, that man's voice terrifies me in the most
Don't tell him
sexy
that.
way. But yeah.
Once it senses
we'll
fear, you'll
just
never be the same.
Tatum, how have you been? It's been a while, I feel like.
It has been a while. It's been far too long. I've been good. I've been crazy busy, having no life whatsoever, as I'm sure Terry can attest. She lives 15 minutes from me and never sees me. Yeah, I've become like Willy Wonka. I've just disappeared into my work, and I'm like, no one ever goes in, no one ever comes out. It's weird. But yeah, I've been crazy busy lately. So which is a good thing. But the past few months have just flown the hell by because I was all track of time.
Yeah.
How have you gentlemen been?
It's a good question.
Nothing. Really, to be honest, I haven't seen you and any of these guys since Anime USA, so it's been about like 4 months.
It's a big reunion for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of...
Oh my god. That's
funny.
Far too long.
Yeah.
It is.
Crazy.
I can't go that long without listening to Steve's dulcet tones again.
Yeah, no.
It's
What if I sound like
I prefer you guys should take another road trip, or not a road trip, but you guys should come down to Texas again.
we should.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Possible, yeah.
I agree.
Yes, I will make some gumbo.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Because I was going to say, let's
World
go to Whataburger.
No, never again. Never again.
Almost got
Yeah, because that's totally what Texas is known for.
Well, that and guns.
That's what
which
I
we
assumed
also
since,
did.
you know, we saw
Well,
like
and
15
and
of them.
and it's Whataburgers.
As far as the eye could see.
Steven, how have you been?
Oh, I've been good. I'm pretty busy lately. Same as Tatum. But yeah, I've been quite well.
I feel like this is the first time a lot of that anime show listeners probably have heard your voice.
Probably so. I think I've spoken up a few times, but most of the time I'm pretty quiet.
And of course, you appeared on our show with Terry that one time
Yeah,
as well.
got
Yeah.
to talk about One Piece.
Yeah, when I let him talk, yeah.
Maybe that's why Sabbath's afraid of you, because you don't let anyone talk. I don't know about
Yeah, that's exactly. No, Terry was like, it's about me. Me. Sorry. They should talk about
No, it's about me.
Oh, yes.
Did you enjoy Steve's bagel picture? I have to
Because
ask.
you like when people
take
post
pictures
pictures about their food.
of their food.
Like
I did.
really extravagant food. Like
And
really
there's
delicious.
nothing more
loved it.
extravagant than a 3/4 eaten bagel with cream cheese on it.
Strawberry cream.
Strawberry cream
Well,
cheese.
see, I loved it also because it kind of looked like a mustache. I love mustaches, but yeah, he's like, hey, I thought you'd enjoy this. And I'm like, retweet immediately. Yeah.
I couldn't help laughing because you could barely see the bagel in the photo. It's like, I just had this awesome bagel. It does not look like an awesome bagel. It's a plain bagel.
It's blending in with the plate.
Yeah, it blends in with the plate. I don't know. That's just me. I can't stop giggling.
Yeah, I think we should start a new trend where it's like, hey, had this really mediocre, not amazing food at all. Here's a picture of it. Yeah.
I will do that. I will do that because I eat a lot of mediocre food.
Next time, in the 1 or 2, 3 times a year that Tatum posts on Facebook, I think it should be of a half-eaten piece of food.
That's like, I ordered this burger at McDonald's and someone has clearly stepped on it. Facebook.
Well, that way you know it was prepared with love.
At McDonald's, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, or pure hatred. Which really, I just want the emotion behind it to be in there.
As long as it's genuine.
That's true.
Yeah. Just don't give me a piece of food that you care nothing about. Really, I want someone to have died, or like someone to have like divorced over this bagel. I don't know this bagel story is new to me. I have no idea what the hell you're talking.
Bagel story.
Well, it just happened like an hour or two.
It happened today.
It happened right before we started today. Steve took a picture of a half-eaten bagel and tweeted it to Terry. What's there to tell? I mean, that's pretty simple.
Well, because I listened to your new episode with Leah, and you brought up how you hate, people posting pictures about
because everyone goes to
Facebook, and I hate that shit too. I'll tell you right now, I don't give a fuck what you're eating, if you're going to the gym, if you're bored at work.
No. But you actually do. You really do. You just don't know that you do until you see the picture. It's like, wow, I've seen that now. And then you hate yourself for having known what I'm doing and what I'm eating.
Terry's right. I'm upset when
that is true.
Steven made his pizza that night, and I took a picture of it and sent it to all my friends.
He did.
Well, look,
while
Steven
he was eating it, yes.
Yeah, while I was eating it. It was great. I'd never done that before. It was actually a very liberating experience. But now I think I'm going to do this all the time.
The thing is, with Steven's cooking, that makes more sense, I feel like.
That was a great ending to the episode, too. Just the ending is just, he said I could have some, bye-bye. And that's the end.
Yeah.
Did we ever settle...
Steven is a phenomenal chef,
Oh,
and there's nothing that comes out of that man's kitchen that is mediocre. But his pizza is like the best pizza I think I've ever tasted in my life. So if it ever comes up, it's like a Scooby snack for me.
Yeah. No, we've talked about on the show, and I'm sure Tatum's talked about this numerous times at conventions and stuff, but the thing with ice cream, where he cries and eats it, that is nothing compared to him moaning and kind of choking while he's eating Steven's pizzas.
Yeah, it's very odd to hear how much he was moaning while he was eating it.
I don't know if I want to hear
it wasn't true and they're exaggerating, but it's all true.
That sounds disturbing. Okay.
I don't know, after I've had a slice of Steven's pizza, it's like I've got that wonderful afterglow, and all the world just makes sense. I'm at one with everything. I'm at peace. It's great. I can't describe it. I can't describe it. No picture posted on Facebook does it justice.
So Tatum, what have you been reading lately?
I'll make pizza for you guys instead of gumbo.
I'll have both.
Awesome.
If somehow they could be combined, I'll have that.
Gumbo pizza.
Gumbo pizza.
Oh my God, gumbo pizza!
Tatum, it sounds like
amazing. Let's do this.
That sounds disgusting.
Terry is always the voice of reason.
yes. I guess fine. I won't have your gumbo pizza, Steven. It sounds disgusting. But in another way too. Yeah. Anyway, Ed, you had a question.
I was going to ask Tatum, what have you been reading lately?
What have I been reading lately?
Yes, for fun.
Oh God,
you're not reading for fun.
That's a crazy question. I don't know, like everything. I've been. Do you really want to know?
Sure, why not?
Ed wants to know.
Yeah. No, we're just being nice.
That's usually what is meant when someone's asking me what I'm reading. No, I've gone through a lot of books lately. I'm reading up. I've been reading a lot of sci-fi and fantasy lately, like going back and reading a lot of the kind of obscure classics that I either haven't touched in a while or have somehow never read. So I'm reading a lot of those. Reading on because Jason and I had a discussion on the phone via text a few nights ago after he revealed to me that he had finished all of Doctor Who.
Yes.
So now I'm going back and reading all my Doctor Who books. About
I didn't even know there were books.
Of the show,
yeah, there are.
Of which I have dozens and dozens and dozens.
There's toothbrushes.
But yeah, I've been doing that a lot and just kind of reading. I don't know. My books kind of bore most people. I read books on like mythology and anthropology and stuff like that, and I don't know, all kinds of stuff. I haven't been reading like my usual 6 books a week these days because I've been so busy. I haven't been able to read as much, and it really sucks. It really sucks when I can only get through like 3 books a week.
What? What?
I feel like half a man.
I mean, I feel like we probably read the same amount, but it's boring legal terms and stuff.
Yeah.
It's awful.
I think I just have ADD. I don't know.
And Jason watches Doctor Who.
Well, no.
Can I make the Gaston
reference
reference again when I say, how could you read this? There's no pictures.
I don't know.
As you look at what is essentially a picture.
Yeah, this book has pictures in it, so that's null and void.
No, lately I've been reading Sherlock Holmes a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, I bet you watch Sherlock, too.
Yes. It's a good show.
I heard.
Steve, there was a really funny random question I think
Okay,
you should read in the chat.
I'll ask this random question from Anime Crazy Girl. If you could have a set of pocket-sized, walking, talking, acting voice actors, voice actors should be able to act, who would they be? I guess a set of pocket-sized voice actors.
Like an action figure.
Like action figures, except they actually talk.
Pocket size.
Or maybe it's kind of like Indian in the cupboard, where
That's
you
what
put
I'm
them
thinking.
in the cupboard and then they come to life.
You just make an Indian in the cupboard
You're
reference?
reference.
Yeah, because the only
I love
books I
you.
know are the ones I read in elementary school. I mean, come on.
That's hilarious. Do you have like a copy of like the Pokey Little Puppy on your end table? Is that your masterpiece theater book? Is that? I'm just okay, so the question is, who would we have if we could have like, action figure, like walking, talking, acting versions of the people we usually have to deal with every day?
Doesn't have to be the people you deal with every day.
Terry, you want to take this question?
Wow, so tiny versions of these people that I love seeing. Well, it'd be Tatum, because if I could put him in a cupboard and make him like a toy at any point, it'd be Tatum, because it's going to be funny. Or probably Sabbath, just to terrify him.
Oh my god.
Then he'll sneak around and put kazoos in your
I asked him to come on, but
why not?
I asked him to come on, but he's probably too terrified at this point. Yeah. I love that. That's terrified. It really should be.
Terrified.
Well, you know what? I do have an answer for this now. I want a little tiny version of Brina, but only on condition that it is a voodoo doll.
I think that's acceptable under the parameters.
That's the only way you're going to get her back. That's just.
I think that's a good prank.
Voodoo is the
out of
answer.
ideas.
Is that ever going to happen?
No.
Well, Sabbath was on earlier and actually explained what that was. What was that called again? Gaslighting? Is that what that was called?
Yeah, gaslighting.
And apparently Brina has done that quite often, so... Yeah, that's disturbing.
I'm not good at pranking. I'm terrible at it. I don't know what happened. I used to be, but something happened. I think Brina just totally bested me, and I'm not the man I used to be anymore because of her.
So
No, we're not prankers. We're good about just going like, aha, you look funny, or something. Like, our idea of a prank, and I'm using us as a collective, that anime show, because Tatum does feel like my husband sometimes, so I can say this about him, but he'll just be like, you're wearing a hat that you weren't planning on wearing. Ah!
Well, the huzzah.
Like, prank
Huzzah makes
succeeded,
it.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
Remember.
Oh, pocket size. Steven, what pocket sized voice actor?
Let's see. I think it would have to be Joel for me. As long as he has interchangeable mustaches. Is there ever
Joel has
other
a different area.
Yeah. Every other week, Joel has a new mustache, and it's either a handlebar or just a straight porno mustache or whatever. But it would have to be interchangeable.
Well, what I've seen from Tatum, he has different facial hair / hair every time I see him too. So I
Yeah,
feel like
no,
that's-
like I said
Yeah,
to him back in
Tatum
November.
looked like Wooly Willy. It was
Yeah.
funny. Yeah.
Screw you! I made that reference back in November. I said that. I coined that term. No, this is actually.
Hey, Stephen reminded me. I think I want an action figure of Joel too, but for very different reasons.
Okay.
Oh, dear.
Okay, so you would want him to be pocket. Okay, whatever. No. No.
Let's just not. Let's just not go there.
Pocket of who?
All right. Let's see. Oh, do you want to ask some from the chat? I want you to pick, Steve. You're much better at picking these things.
Where the
Because otherwise I'll
hell
just
are
ask
they?
what I see.
A bunch of people.
Wow.
The last one was okay.
I'm trying to find some good stuff. Filler. Do some filler.
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 Can anyone sing Spanish Flea?
No.
No.
It's not going to happen.
No one? What is with you guys?
No.
God.
Just lyrics.
Spanish Flea. It's da-da-da-da. I'm not going to
mind.
sing. I
All
can't
right.
sing. I'm not
No,
going to do
okay.
it.
Oh my God! Just make conversation for Christ's sake.
It's hard to make conversation when you know, like, hundreds of people are listening.
It is. And you're also
And watching.
pressuring us.
Yeah. No, but the
So, Tatum, what did you have to eat?
God, you asked.
That's Zach's default question. What did you
I
have to
hate
eat?
you.
Was that what you were going to ask?
I don't know.
What is happening? I'm frightened.
This one just popped up. This is interesting because now after what's unfolded tonight, when is Sabbath going to be on that anime show? That's gonna be like the.
Would you
war
let
to
him into
settle
your
the
house?
schools.
That's a scary question because I'm the one that books everybody, so I'm the one that's like, hey, why hasn't this person come on yet? And you never know when they will, so just stay tuned. I mean, it's a nice producer answer, but really, it's he's got to stop hiding for me to book him. So, but anything's possible. I would love to have Sabbath on the show, but I don't know. It's kind of dangerous, too, to have Sabbath and Tatum in the same room.
And to have them in your house.
Too much animosity right there.
You really want Sabbath to know where you live?
Yeah.
God, I hope not.
Well,
What were those noises?
I got another question. I forget if you ever mentioned this, but Ichnob asks, hello Ichnob, has Tatum met an Enru cosplayer at a convention before?
Yeah,
Have you
yes.
seen any around?
Wait, say that again?
Have you met an Enru cosplayer at any conventions?
Yes, once, like 2 years ago, there was one, and I should say I didn't meet him.
Mhm.
I just saw him wandering around, and no, it was it was longer than that because I think Inaru. I don't think it was even really common knowledge at the time that I was playing Inaru, so I didn't because I couldn't come up to him and say, "Oh my God, I love your outfit, your cosplay," because I was afraid of going against my NDAs, But yeah, no, I've seen, and someone told me, I was at a convention recently, in fact, I just got back from KatsuCon in D.C. as well, just about 3 weeks or so ago, really, really good time there, but apparently there was a lot of One Piece cosplayers, and somebody told me there was an Eru stalking the hallways, but I never actually ran into them. So close and yet so far.
I haven't seen many. There's not... People are not brave enough to do that. Are you still going to do that when you're, like, confident to go out there and sport that?
That is my goal. I totally want to cosplay as Inaru myself.
And Steve will be Dalton.
As hard as I
Yeah,
am.
I guess I'll
really
be
wanna do it.
Dalton.
Steve is going to be Dalton with you.
Yeah.
So you got some support.
Exactly. So, get cracking. Your
Yeah.
costume's going to be a little harder than mine.
Yeah, and I still have to grow like an awesome soul patch. I'm still going through puberty, so.
Yeah, there's a soul patch, and I expect you to be able to actually transform into a bison. So,
Yeah,
cracking.
yeah. I think there's classes for that at the gym.
What about Pearl, though? Who's going to be
You'll be
Pearl?
Pearl.
No, I was going to say you were going to be Pearl.
Well,
but
Pearl's
okay, I
really
see
wide,
what
so
you're
the three of you will just tie you together.
No, it could be Duck B.
saying. Oh, they came out with names for all those ducks recently.
Oh, you mean
They
they're
just
finally
came out with the
named
names
for
for all the
Duck
ducks.
Oh,
So
wow.
Duck B has a name. We don't know which one Duck B is, but he has a name.
I just
I
like.
think maybe I should try to put together a really badass cosplay so that I am all three characters that I've played, all three villains or whatever guys I've played from One Piece at the same time, but only from certain angles.
So Pearl from the front, Enaru from the back.
It's not Bison with drums on his back. What the hell?
It's
I know,
the
yeah, and
drums.
then when I've been down, it's like Ducky or something, That'd be awesome. Oh my God, I would look like.
I feel like that's physically impossible. For some reason.
I don't know. I'm mastering the art of interdimensional space-time manipulation. So I think I'm gonna make a breakthrough. This might just be what gets me over the hump.
That's a
Once
big
you figure
step.
out the Higgs boson.
Wow, Higgs boson. We're bringing physics into this podcast. Astrophysics.
Anyway, Terry, you've been in a lot more stuff since we've last talked, and that's nuts. You've been you played 2 roles in Fairy Tale, but how's that been? How's the voiceover stuff going for you?
Pretty good. Well, last time I talked to you guys, a lot's happened. I've gotten to audition a lot, which, if anything's good practice. I mean, that's a nice way of saying, me too, good practice, whatever. But I hope we get to do more Fairy Tale, because I really like playing Virgo, and playing young version of Rob McCullum's character, Jalal, is really awesome. Got to be a bad guy for the first time, which is amazing. But, Okami-san just got announced a while back, and that's coming out next month, and I'm really excited about that. I get to play. I guess I'm kind of getting into my own Tatumness, because I'm getting a lot of glasses characters, and he actually schooled me on he's like, oh, this is how you make it sound like you're wearing glasses.
What?
So now I know how to sound like I'm wearing glasses, which is an art form. And doing little things here and there. I even got to record a little bit in it, a couple of animes that you guys have been bugging me to be a part of. So, I won't say anything else. But so cool stuff coming out. I'm really excited.
Good. That's good.
Freaking awesome.
That is exciting. Spreading your wings.
Steven, have you been engineering on any shows that you could actually talk about?
Let's see. I don't even really know what's out. I think Black Butler 2 is out, right?
Yeah, I saw the trailer for that on the Princess Shelley.
Or it should be coming out.
April. At least it should be. Black Butler 2 was a fairly new one. There's just been so many lately. We've been, I'm working with Colleen Klinkenbeard now as a director, and we've just been burning through shows so fast that I don't even know what's out and what's not anymore.
I don't even know where I am right now.
I think I can talk about Sergeant Frog, right? That's out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that came out a while back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Initial D is out, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I think asking on air.
When you said
did this secret show come out?
When you said Initial D, I should have been like, no, oh God, you're gonna get fired.
I know the guys on the.
Hard, when it comes to knowing when stuff is coming out, I think you're like Rip Van Winkle. It's like you've woken up and you're like, oh, and is Initial D out yet? That's been like a year.
Yeah, I'm so far.
I'm in the same boat though. I always forget.
Yeah, I'm so far behind on knowing what's out and everything. It's just we go so fast there that I'm just not aware of hey, this is out. Oh, okay, cool. I can talk about this.
I know the Ancast was talking a lot about Initial D, and I know you guys have a lot on your podcast as well, and just about how when you put that music on, if you're driving a car, you'll probably be going around 100 miles an hour without knowing.
Not if you're driving, because, it was me, Steven, Tatum, and Joshua, and I told Tatum that I had the Initial D soundtrack, and he screamed in my ear. Granted, we had been drinking, and Steven was our designated driver. He's like, oh my God, put it on right now. But in Texas, it's not the same thing. We don't have sharp turns and curves. It's all straight lines, and you're usually behind someone going really slow, or you're going 20 over and you're still not going fast enough for people. So Initial D doesn't really work for the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Well, next time you get out of Dallas, I guess that's the stuff to listen to, or if you want to get pulled over very quickly.
Tatum, what have you been writing on lately that you can talk about?
Oh, yeah.
God. I'm kind of the same about with Steven. I'm writing so much, and we have to get through things so quickly these days. I guess it's always been the case, but it's like I lose track of what is out that I can talk about. Because generally, for me, when you're writing an adaptation, you're done writing it probably 3 or 4 months before it's done recording. So add that 4 months to the window that, then it goes into post-production and then, with DVD altering and all that stuff. And it's like, oh, my God, really? I do know that something I worked on that I'm very proud of that's coming out in April, I think around the same time as Black Buster 2, is Legend of the Legendary Heroes, which I got to do a great many of the adapted scripts for. And I'm also in as a kind of minor character, but it's a really fun show. It's a great kind of sword and sorcery, questing type of world building type of anime, which is something I'm always been very much at home in. So it was really a lot of fun to work on that. But since writing that show, I've done no less than 6 other shows that I can't talk about yet. So it's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm writing on a couple of shows right now that one of which we're wrapping up the scripts, and then another one we're just kind of about halfway through it. Both of which are awesome properties, but I probably won't be able to talk about them until the fall, if that. So it really kind of sucks. You don't understand how hard it is for those of us that work on these projects to keep it to ourselves, but we have to we take this vow of silence, and we're like, we can't talk about it for 6 months at least.
And
then, of course, by the time it comes out, you're like, yeah, I can talk about it. But by that time, there's 4 other properties that you're working on that you can't talk about either. So you never catch up. You're never like, yes, I can now talk about everything I've done.
Well, I remember with Corpse Princess, you guys, the show that cannot be named, or Shikabane Hime, the show
that was the show that cannot be named.
Yeah.
For a year and a while. I feel like it kept going.
It was a while.
But it's out now.
Yeah.
But now there's 5 other shows.
And it's on the TV.
What's funny to listen to the old shows of that anime show and be like, because people are like, well, they're clearly talking about this show, and like, no, you're wrong, but I can't tell you you're wrong. Like, well, I don't know. It's just the way she said this one word. It's not even what I said. It's the way I said it. She's probably talking about Strike Witches too. No. I was talking about, I was actually talking about Virgo and stuff like that. But yeah, it's funny to go back and be like, haha, we were taunting people.
Well, then, try to change that up a little bit. Tatum, what's something that you've written for anime that you're really proud of? What's a series that you really enjoyed writing on, something that you feel like you accomplished something?
Well, that's a really good question. A lot of them, actually, I'm always really proud to work on. But then, that's just kind of my work ethic. I mean, it's such an honor to get to write for these shows. I really enjoy it. I really do enjoy doing the adaptive writing because it's just kind of, I don't know, it's a lot of fun as a writer, to breathe life into a show from a scripting standpoint, and then sometimes get the chance to breathe life into one of those characters later on down the road when it's hit recording, because I end up, usually being in at least as a minor character in something that's the stuff I've written. So it's kind of nice to see how it all comes together. But I think, my writing on Dragon Ball Z Kai was probably, I think, some of my best work that's out so far. And the reason was because at the time when I came on board to write that show, first it was a great show, a great property to get to work on. It's one of those anime that's, the franchise itself was kind of responsible for kind of ushering in that wave of anime popularity, about 14 years ago now. And it made a lot of people's careers associated with it, like Sabbath and so on and so forth. And it was just really cool, to come to it belatedly as I did, and get to, work on it and say, oh my God, this is really cool, because we were all revisiting this show that, we were fond of earlier, or that people had worked on, and said, oh, we're going to redo it, and now we can, we have the technology, we can do things we couldn't do 14 years ago. And at the time, I really enjoyed working on the scripts that anything that had Frieza, the Lord Frieza, Chris Ayres' character in it. And at the time, I was like, oh, I just really love writing this bad guy. I can really go hog wild with the dialogue and make him really rich and sarcastic and, make him very highfalutin. And it turned out to be my love letter to Chris Ayres, these scripts, because I kind of had him in mind while I was writing them. But, that's just because as a writer, you usually have someone in mind just to help guide the voice in your head as you bring it out onto the page. But rarely does that actor or actress actually end up getting the role, and whoever does get it is awesome. But when you're just writing in a vacuum and you don't know who's going to be what yet, you just kind of cast it yourself in your head and then whatever. And it turns out that the actor I had in mind for Frieza, Chris Ayres, got the part. Mm-hmm. And so when he started recording it, he came in and he tells the story better than I do, but he said when he came in to do his first session as Frieza, it was kind of a religious experience. He was like, oh my God, it's like someone's written the script for me. he said it kind of played to all his strengths and none of his weaknesses, and so he called me to thank me for it. He's like, these are great scripts. I'm having a great time with this character. And I'm like, well, I kind of wrote it for you. And so it was really a lot of fun, and it's a fun show, and of course I stayed with it for so long, and they were working on that show, because so many episodes of it.
Forever.
I did it for like 2.5 years or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So when we were done, and I worked on my last Dragon Ball Z Kai script, it was really hard to just kind of let go, because I think that's the longest I've worked on a show as a scripter. Because most shows simply aren't that long. Most shows are
Right.
about 24 episodes, or even over 12. And so you're done writing them, usually in a few months. But 2.5 years, man, that was crazy.
Yeah.
But then getting to see, and Savage came up to me at some point, which he certainly didn't have to do. He just saw me in the hallways of Funimation and said, hey, I just want to let you know these scripts are working out really, really great. Thank you. This is so much fun for us because the scripts are awesome. And that applies to all of us that work on the show, not just me. But the fact that Savage, went out of his way to say something was really cool, because we writers tend to kind of disappear in the background. We don't get a lot of praise or credit, which is as it should be, I suppose. I mean, if we've done our job, we should be somewhat invisible, so the actors can bring those characters to life. But Kai is definitely one of the proudest things I've ever worked on.
Right on.
Yeah, I remember you working on it
now.
constantly.
Yeah, I kind of want to ask the same question for Terry. What you've been directing, what do you sort of view as your exceptional work? What's you feel like the best thing that you worked on? If someone asked to see what work you've done, what would you show them?
Oh, God, it's like picking children, but, whatever. There's always a favorite kid, whatever.
It's like the ending to Good Son.
I would have to say it's a toss-up between Ryback and Baka and Fest Season 1, because those, I think, are where I really came into my own. Ryback was my first project working under Mike McFarland, and it's a drama. I mean, granted, it's ballet and humanoid motorcycles, but it's a great show, and the musical score and just the little twists and turns, and of course you can even hear J. Michael Tatum in it. But
wow, it sounds just like me.
Anything I direct, Tatum's going to be in. He referred to himself as my Steve Buscemi. He's always going to be in anything I direct.
I could see the resemblance.
Shut up, Steve.
Someone's going to Photoshop you with the Steve Buscemi eyes now?
I thought he was known. I thought he was known
What
for
have you
the
done?
That's a meme. That's been on the internet for a while.
Oh, really? Oh,
Just Photoshopping Steve
knows
Buscemi's
his
eyes onto
memes.
people. It's creepy.
Tatum, you're next.
Not Baka incest. I'm on the chat now, Zach.
What?
What?
Baka
No.
Did someone who wrote Baka incest?
Oh, that's,
somebody.
That's Zach from A&N, yeah.
no, the phone static made it sound like that.
Well, I'd rather say test, T-E-S-S-T, rather than the Japanese pronunciation. But no, Baka and Test is hilarious, and Josh Greeley, Scott Freeman, everybody is great in that show. But I love directing, and I think those are the best examples of my work if I had to show it to anybody.
Right on.
Yeah, if I had to, oh, you have to watch this.
Right.
Yeah.
It still needs to finish Rin.
Sort of circling
It was
around
very
everyone.
disturbing. I think I was to keep watching.
Just sort of circling around everyone who's on this call right now. Steven, what's sort of the most sort of difficult or complicated part of doing engineering?
And having seen engineering,
Yeah, having seen it in action,
it's insane.
I can't comprehend any of it. Your fingers are moving way too fast. But just what do you think people don't necessarily know or appreciate about what engineers do?
And what show did you most like engineering?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, the last 3 shows that Colleen and I did were really, really fun. One of them, there was a scene where the character was talking backwards. The Japanese outtake of it was record the line and then just reverse it. My idea, my little spin on that, and to kind of add to it, was go ahead and say the line forward, reverse it, and then have the actor repeat the the way it sounded backwards, forwards. So basically, the actor would hear the reverse track of it and say that, and that would be, that was the effect. And it just came out really, really weird sounding. And, it was just an idea to try it. And, both the actor and the director both loved it and, kept it in. But that happened to be the hardest show that I've worked on also. Just everybody in there is just screaming, and it just goes so incredibly fast that it was so hard for me to keep up with what was going on with the screen and watching the levels, making sure nobody was peeking out, making sure that the actor was staying on mic and knowing where the flaps began and end, so I could place the line faster. But yeah, by far that particular show, which I cannot name, is
And it's not Shikabane Hime this time. That's the hint.
It's not Strike Witches 2.
But yeah,
Witches 2, Steve.
but that show was by far the hardest show I've ever had to work on, and I don't know, it made me realize that I still had a lot to learn as far as engineering and being able to control levels and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah. Steve, is there anything in the chat?
Yeah, there's
Questions?
questions.
Do you have any questions?
I think people have just been.
No, I think that whole baka incest thing is just getting people talking. Well, the kanji is not is it baka's written.
Oh dear.
Everyone's so tense in here.
Yeah,
It's
come
like,
on.
I think people are just gonna be pointing out everyone's spelling errors.
Well, while we have the moment,
you're supposed to put apostrophe in your. Come on.
It's true. I mean, use the right yours. Come on.
You're.
We since you've been on the air, we've got far more than $200, so that's good. I don't know what far more than $200.
$10 more than
$10 more than
$210 is a lot for 40 minutes.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So we're at including last year's total, 33,640, which I'm guessing is bringing us very close to 3,000 if my math is correct. So that's good.
You add good.
No, I don't add good. I add well.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, that was a bad joke.
Grammar.
I hate you guys.
I hate you guys too. Okay, so did anything? They're still talking about baka incest. That's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
someone actually typed in the chat baka incest.
And someone put that in kanji.
Don't hashtag that. It's like, well, I'm going to put that on Twitter.
Lie.
Okay.
Okay.
So
wow, shit. I mean,
I never thought I'd run out with.
We'll get people
I don't
to
know.
talk about questions.
Here's sort of a random
There you go.
question
Good, go ahead.
Tatum and for Terri. If you could, I mean, particularly for Tatum, but if you could like create any sort of Shakespearean character on the stage, what character would you do and why? And you seem to be, because you are a big fan of Shakespeare, but I don't know if you've ever had the chance to sort of act on stage in any of his plays. I just wondered what you would like to do.
Oh yeah, and as a matter of fact, I've gotten to do Shakespearean drama on stage frequently when I was younger. I'd love to do it now that I'm older, because now that I'm older, I could play characters that I couldn't when I was in my teens and 20s. But, you know what, the character I most want to play, I think of all of Shakespeare's creations, I mean, and that's a hard thing to choose, but for me it would have to be Sir John Falstaff. I think it's one of his most original and most unique comic creations, and he's just larger than life. I mean, I'd have to gain a lot of weight and get old to play him. So, so maybe I'm just anticipating what old age is going to be like, and that way I can justify letting myself go. But I love that character. I think that character is wonderful. I mean, he's kind of mirth and cunning personified in a way, and he's just huge. And there's been a number of great actors that have played him over the years, of course, not least of which Orson Welles, who's one of my personal idols, kind of looked to Falstaff as a character, as a bit of his own personal hero. And so it was really cool. I think Falstaff, that's a hard thing to choose. I mean, there are a lot of great Shakespearean characters that I would love to bring to life. I think Falstaff would be the most challenging one for me to do, because I think it just requires a kind of presence that I don't see myself having. But I would love to develop it.
Right.
So maybe one day.
Now we're, of course, looking up Falstaff. Like Ed looking at...
He sure uses big words.
Yeah, what's with the big words?
What's the big word?
We're making too many references to
The word Falstaff? Is that the big
No.
We're making too many of that animation references?
Yeah. Well, if people don't listen to that,
Well,
animation,
they
should.
should just listen to it then.
There you go.
That would
To understand.
That would do it. Yeah, Jason.
What do you think of the modernizations to some of the Shakespeare and other things that have come out, like Hamlet? I don't know if you've seen them.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen anything lately, honestly. But I mean, I have kept like the latest version of anything Shakespearean I've seen. That I have to seek it out now because I just don't keep abreast of these things anymore, unfortunately, because I'm so married to my work. But David Tennant, of course, who everyone knows, most people know as the 10th Doctor from Doctor Who, played Hamlet for a spell, actually with the Royal Shakespeare Company several years ago. Friends of mine that were traveling in England at the time actually got to see him perform it, and it just happened to be the same performance where during the intermission he announced to the press he was no longer going to be playing the Doctor. So they got to be there for that historic moment, and I am left with the DVD. But but it came out on DVD. They did a production of it, as the BBC often will, and it was phenomenal. It was great. Also a very recent production of, I'd say recent within the past like 6 or 7 years, of production of King Lear with Ian McKellen, of course, Sir Ian McKellen, playing King Lear. And of all things, another Doctor Who reference, very, very small world, Sylvester McCoy, who was the 7th Doctor, the last one to appear on television in the 80s with the old series, plays the Fool, Lear's Fool. And it's phenomenal. It's really, really amazing. Those are the reasons. And, the thing about Shakespeare that I love is that so many people still dip into him and read his stuff, and it still speaks to them and inspires them to kind of run with it. So even if I don't like a particular interpretation, or I think that, this particular, way of doing this, or, casting that person maybe something that I wouldn't have done, I'm always amazed that people are out there still putting on plays, of course, of his stuff, but making films of something that was written 400 years ago. I mean, it's unprecedented. It's amazing. How many other things can you think of from even 200 years ago are we still seeing make it into mainstream culture? It's just amazing, and it just goes to show you how prevalent the bard is. So I love it, even if I don't necessarily like the specific product of this person or that person's interpretation of Shakespeare. I love the fact that Shakespeare still inspires people to interpret it.
Right.
So
actually,
it's really something.
I was in Central Park yesterday, and we got to go down the literary way there.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a statue of Shakespeare in the park there, and it's been around since I think since the 1850s.
Yeah.
And one of the people who helped erect it was a famous Shakespearean, like the preeminent Shakespearean American actor of his time, Edwin Booth, brother of John Wilkes.
Yeah.
So the man who killed Lincoln was the brother of the man who put the statue of Shakespeare in Central Park. So it sort of intersects with history in weird ways.
Yeah.
It does, doesn't it? I mean, and it's interesting that you bring that up, because in a way, the whole Lincoln himself was kind of a Shakespearean character come to life. I mean, I hate to put it that way because it sounds like I'm reading too much into it, but Lincoln is one of those characters.
If only he knew.
Beings on the stage of history, that just really is kind of us, but beyond us in a way that reminds you of Shakespeare's best creation. Mm-hmm. It's really amazing. It's just crazy how small the world really is when you get right down to it, I think.
Let's see. I'm looking through the chat questions.
Good luck.
Everyone's asking. Oh, there's some Doctor Who questions.
I'll ask a personal one. Not that many people know about
personal,
this.
Steve?
Yeah, it's personal.
Okay. Let's see how it is.
Tell us about Zoe.
Zoe?
Oh, yeah. I want to ask about that.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's quite interesting. Well, not interesting, but just I'm pretty happy about it, and I don't even know if Steven's still there.
Yeah, I'm still here.
David, no. About this time last week, a friend of mine had been, notified about a dog that, was just in a really weird or a really bad situation. This chocolate lab mix, she got away from her owners, And, well, like, I don't know, like, the details. I don't really care. I don't like these people just from the story, but Zoe got away from her owners, and rather than look for her, they went ahead and replaced her. And, 2 days went by, and animal control called them, and she had been hit by a car and actually dragged a little bit under the car. And the owner reluctantly brought Zoe into the clinic just to put her down. And the vet was like, well, no, like, you just get the surgery and she'll be fine. And he's like, no, just kill her. So the vet, being awesome, I don't know many vets that would do this, said, yeah, I'm not going to do that, so why don't you sign her over to us, and I'll just take care of her, and she, we'll find her a better home.
We actually just put the picture of her up on the feed. Very cute dog. That's an awful but good ending story.
That's not the ending.
The ending.
Well, we haven't gotten to the ending.
We haven't gotten to the ending?
No. So at this point, the doctor has the dog.
Okay. I'm skipping. I read it earlier. That's why.
Well, I don't really know what they did to her, but like they showed me pictures of when they first brought her in, and they waited for her to heal before they found her a home, and she'd been living at the clinic for 4 months with limited interaction with humans, and they just really weren't they didn't really have time to try to actively find a home for her, and so a receptionist there posted it on Facebook, and I met her a couple of days after that through a couple of other people that posted it, and it didn't really take much. I mean, she was incredibly well adjusted for everything that she'd been through, and we took her home the day after we met her, and she's fine. She's a freaking awesome dog. I'd say, if anything, if she's got any issues, it's because she had really crappy owners before, but she's a Hoff now, so suck it, other people.
Yeah, she's an awesome dog. She enjoys to play rough, which is great because I love just being able to tackle a big dog like that and just throw it around. And I think a lot of the reason she had a hard time getting adopted was because of the massive scars on her body. Like I'd say probably a good chunk of her hair is just gone from it, and so I think a lot of people just kind of were turned off by it, but I think they're awesome looking. They're just, brutal battle wounds of it. It's cool.
That's a really beautiful story.
No, it's nice. When I first saw that, I'm like, oh wow, you know what? They'd make really. It's like the Hoff.
I'm surprised you haven't had a dog.
You guys seem like you were the right people for it, and that you would. I don't know. You'd be the proper dog owners, so that really made me happy to see that whole story.
It's tragic what we went through.
People suck.
People do.
Some people are
not
awesome.
the people here because they've been donating.
Well, I suck.
Yeah.
Not literally. But
well, that's also wonderful. Thank you, Steve.
Yes.
No problem. Class from me.
I think that's an uplifting note to end this on. Are there any projects that you can talk about that's coming up? Tatum first, I guess.
No. Sorry.
What? Like any project?
Well, Black Butler 2, Season 2 is coming out very soon, in just a matter of weeks, in fact. And so that one, of course, I'm very, very stoked about, because I think that as much as we loved working on the first season, and we absolutely did, I think we really hit our stride on Season 2, everyone. And Ian Sinclair, the show's director, was just amazing to work with, and it's a really, really great, solid dub. The cast is amazing. I'm really excited about it, to be honest with you. It's excited in a way I haven't been in a while for something coming out. I'm just really chomping at the bit to get to actually see it and talk to people who've seen it. There's that. There's Legend of the Legendary Heroes, as I said, which is something I got to write on, which Ian Sinclair is actually the lead in, along with Lucy Christian, and a whole cast of other people, including myself. And I'm sure there's other things, but I'm always bad about keeping track of what I can and can't talk about. But I know those two have been announced.
Mm-hmm.
Fairy Tale Part 4.
Oh yeah, and that.
Well, there we go.
Terry?
Yeah. I was lucky enough to be just a little part in the Legend of the Legendary Heroes that are legendary and heroic.
A name isn't long enough.
But that's what we were saying, around the studio. I think it's a really awesome name. It's a translation of it. It's funny. But, and let me see. Oh, Kami-san's coming out next month, I believe, April 3rd. And that has me, Brina Palencia, Micah Sosad, Colleen Klinkenbeard, Joel McDonald, Monica Rial. And it's a really fun show. It's a play on fairy tales. And, of course, Fairy Tale is out. And you should see that. And there are other things, I'm sure. But, no, those are the big ones right now. And I'm loving it. Yeah.
Steven?
Black Butler 2. I think I think a fairy tale that Terri was in with young Jalal I worked on too, so I think I can talk about that. But the current show I'm working on I would like to talk about, but I'm not able to, and it probably won't be until next year, fall time before that's released. There's 2 other shows that I would like to talk about, but yet again, I can't.
Those are my favorite, though.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to say Black Butler 2 just to be on the safe side.
Right on. And just to say that in the time that you guys have been on the show, we've raised $310.
Yeah.
So, yep, congratulations.
Golf clap. Golf clap.
Yeah.
That's at least golf clap worthy.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you 3 for coming on, and it ended up working out.
Yeah.
Not that many
It was a rough beginning, but we took off.
Yes.
We miss you guys, though.
Yeah,
we do.
Yes.
I miss you too. But hey, let me just say, before I sign off, guys, it's been awesome talking with you again. We gotta actually get together in person and do some damage at some point in the future. But dude, thank you so much for doing what you're doing. This is so unspeakably awesome that you're doing this yet again, and it's just amazing. I know I speak, I think, for all of us when I say that we're absolutely honored to be part of it.
No problem. The first people we think of.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, and thanks for Terri. Thanks for helping us with getting
Terri.
the word out and
Thanks
everything.
for helping. And now we know that Sabbath is afraid of you. So that's what's important.
Learn
That's
something
really
new
an
every day,
achievement.
right?
That is like, I would like that achievement. But thanks for coming on.
Take care, guys.
All right.
See you soon.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
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 So we're going to take another short break, and we'll be back with Michelle Ruff.